I would like to start this video, and by start this video, I mean I'm recording this after recording the rest of the video. So technically I'm not starting, but the video is starting like this. Anyway, I would like to start your listening to of this video by saying sorry that the first 14 minutes or so of my analysis is talking about No Mercy and Hell in a Cell. I just wanted to get my thoughts on them out there since I completely blanked on recording videos for them. Like I remember that I should, and then I held off and I forgot. Um, but then I went into a rant in that, and it ended up taking longer than I wanted it to. Supposed to be like 5 minutes maybe, 4. Yeah, 4. Um, So there's going to be an annotation if I can figure out how to do it. I've just never done it before, but it's probably easy. I just don't want to promise when I don't know for sure. It's probably going to be an annotation on screen currently if I found it. If not, check in the description because there will definitely be a timestamp in the description to when I finally start talking about Survivor Series. So yeah, enjoy. I'd like to start by saying I know I said I was going to do, or at least try to do, every single pay-per-view. But honestly, um, I found myself without a whole lot to say about the last two. Um, No Mercy and Hell in a Cell were both very good. They had like two good matches, and the rest was kind of meh. Um, I was a big fan of the AJ Styles. Um, wow, I'm blanking on the Lunatic Fringe's name, Dean Ambrose, and John Cena match, and was very happy that AJ Styles won because he's one of my favorites ever. But I thought it was lame that after that awesome fight, he had to resort to using a chair to win. But he's a heel, so he can't win clean, even though he beat John Cena clean like a month or two before that. But whatever. I just think it's an archaic machination of old school wrestling because I feel like they used to put guys like. They used to only have guys like Ivan Koloff win the title by cheating because that would make the all-American good guy Hulk Hogan still look good, and then make them hate the evil foreigner even more. But it's 2016. The top heels are Chris Jericho, a Canadian dude, and actually Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, both Canadians, and AJ Styles, who I believe is from Florida or Texas or something. Point being, they're they're not guys you naturally want to root against like the guys in the 70s and 80s were. And guys like AJ Styles is one of the most accomplished wrestlers, mostly as a good guy, in the history of wrestling. And Kevin Owens is very accomplished on both ends of the spectrum. So, and then you put guys like you have like that triple threat match. AJ Styles was on par, if not better. Like, just as far as how well he was faring in the match, he was clearly better, skill wise, than the other two. And then he just has to resort to using a chair because he's a heel. Or Kevin Owens was dominating. I'll get to it later more so. But Kevin Owens was dominating Seth Rollins for like 85% of the Hell in a Cell match of theirs. And then Chris Jericho has to come in and fucking help him win because they're heels. Like, it's stupid, and I hate it because it's it's just devaluing the talent of the heels. You can be an asshole and also be successful. Those two go hand in hand very often, actually. So it's stupid. Um, Nikki Bella and Carmella was meh. Sorry, I pulled up the matches. If I have any thoughts about, I'll just go with the things I can actually think of. If I don't remember it, it's not worth talking about. Uh, Slater and Rhino being the Usos surprised me. It was a pretty good match. And I'm starting to really like Heath Slater. I've always liked Rhino, but I've never been a big fan. Whatever. Corbin and Swagger are actually pretty good together. Naomi and Alexa Bliss was terrible, and everyone knows it's terrible. Ziggler and Miz was an absolutely amazing match. I wouldn't say it was quite a 5-star match, but it was very close. They are amazing together. And I think The Miz is another guy who's very underrated in terms of his ability, and he cheats like more than anyone else to win. He's brings out the best in everyone. And Wyatt and Orton was a pretty damn good match, but it was weird as a finisher because it was definitely like the third, maybe even fourth most important match on the card, and it closed out the event when we'd already seen the World Championship triple threat match and the Intercontinental Championship amazing match between Ziggler and Miz. So it was just weird booking on their part. As far as Hell in a Cell, and I'm sorry this is going on longer than I thought, I just want to get my thoughts out there, and I honestly didn't expect my thoughts to take very long. Reigns versus Rusev was the match of the night, in my opinion. Reigns and Rusev are amazing together. They're both amazing on their own. I haven't come back after a 5-year hiatus. I missed the whole Shield thing and the Daniel Bryan craze. So I know why people hate Roman Reigns, but I don't really, and I've gone back and watched some of the stuff, and Daniel Bryan is great. I don't blame people for loving him. He's awesome. So I understand why people hate Roman Reigns for winning the Rumble when everyone wanted Bryan to win and him getting pushed to the moon while Bryan took a seat back and eventually stopped wrestling in general due to concussion syndrome, I believe. So I know why people do. I just don't believe it's justifiable reason to hate them with the vigor that hate him with the vigor that they do. Because he's not a great technical wrestler, but he's a great performer. He is like his cousin, I believe his cousin. They have a relation, I believe he's his cousin, The Rock. And he's a great performer in the ring, even though he's not all that talented as a technical wrestler. He puts on great physical drama and has a really cool looking moveset, and he's really fun to watch. Even though he definitely doesn't have the microphone skills that his cousin had, though he's not horrible. The tag team match was pretty good. I only remember that it existed because it was kind of a big deal, but the match itself was kind of garbage. Kendrick beating Perkins was alright. The match was pretty good. The ending was kind of really obvious. Once Kendrick started limping, they was gonna go Perkins. Sorry, my heater's kicking in. It's gonna be a problem for a couple more weeks. Sorry. Cesaro and Sheamus beating. But yeah, that was an okay match. Cesaro and Sheamus beating the New Day by disqualification, of course. Like, I didn't mind it at all, honestly. Though, I honestly feel like Cesaro and Sheamus are the good guys in this rivalry. Keep in mind, I know that they a few hours ago got another shot at the tag team championships. Sorry if I get a little louder. I feel like I have to because this thing got louder now. Sorry. It was a really good match, but the fact that the New Day, the fan favorites that everyone loves because they have fun and spread positivity and everything. I love the New Day. They're fucking hilarious. Xavier Woods is amazing. Kofi Kingston is one of my favorite in-ring performers of all time. And Big E is pretty good at both entertaining and in the ring. Point being, Cesaro and Sheamus, who I also love as a team, by the way, their, I was gonna say love-hate, but just their hate relationship, and their constant attempts to one-up each other are hilarious, and I'm definitely not over them yet. Even though I will say that at Survivor Series, which I'll get to later, they didn't really do anything new with it, and that was kind of disappointing. Um, and Charlotte versus Dana, or Charlotte versus Sasha, was also really good. It wasn't as good as the other two, honestly, but it was really good. It wasn't even the best match that they've had. I'm not saying it's worst match because they're two women. Honestly, I think some of their other matches were better than the Universal Championship match, which is the big match of the night. So it's not me being like whatever. I think a lot of people still don't take women's wrestling seriously, so I just want to make sure people don't think I'm being like that. Yeah, it was a good match. I think it's really stupid that Charlotte won, because they just keep bouncing the title back and forth between each other. This Charlotte's third reign with the title, and it's the third reign with the title that I've seen, and I've only been watching again for like 3 months maybe. And Sasha keeps winning the title and then losing it at the next pay-per-view to Charlotte. This is the second time that's happened in as many pay-per-view matches, and it's stupid. I hope either Charlotte. I don't like Charlotte. Like, I think she's a good in-ring competitor, but she's the worst promo person on the entire roster. It's terrible. Makes a really bad, grating, obnoxious Mean Girls impression, but not like tongue-in-cheek impression. Like, we're legitimately trying to do that, thinking it's this amazing heel character, and it just working horribly. It's terrible. Like, I just want it to stop. But she's good in the ring, so as long as she cuts back on the promos, or I keep skipping them when I watch Raw, because I never watch it as it airs, or rarely. As long as her promos cut back, or I just keep skipping them, I'd be okay with her keeping the title or losing it to like Bayley or someone, and then they keep it for a bit, for once. It makes the title look weak when it keeps bouncing between people. And the Universal Championship, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, reminded me a lot of Owens versus Zayn for the NXT title, when he just dominated Zayn the entire match, except Rollins mounted a comeback later on, and then Jericho came in and beat him, which, like I said, I think is stupid. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens might be my two favorite people, besides Goldberg now, apparently. I watched the first bit of Raw from not today, because I'm recording this on Tuesday morning, but yesterday, I guess. And it's hard for me to keep my excitement in check for that while I'm analyzing previous events. I was kind of forgetting about it, but then I brought it up again, and now I'm literally bouncing. I'll try to wait until Survivor Series to talk about that, but I'll spoil the first 10 minutes of Raw for you, I guess. Because I won't be able to not talk about it when I talk about the Goldberg Lesnar match. Yeah, I would have been more okay with Rollins pulling out a comeback victory than Owens winning the way he did. Because that's the thing, like, The Miz is really good, but it makes more sense because usually he's, like, kind of losing compared to the guy he's fighting. He's amazing in how good he makes other guys look, more so than how amazing he looks, which I personally respect, but I know a lot of people don't think he's very good. Anyway, Makes more sense for him because he's usually losing to some degree when he decides to cheat his way to a victory. Whereas, like AJ Styles and definitely Kevin Owens, especially at Hell in a Cell, are seem to be clearly the superior athlete, the guy in that match. It seems like he should win clean without much problem, except for Rollins' little comeback. If he'd stopped that comeback by himself and won, he would have dominated 85% of the match, and it would have pushed him over the moon as far as how good he is, or how good he's perceived to be. But that didn't happen because fucking it's dumb. It's dumb. Fucking heels have to win title matches. Dirty. Stupid. I think they can. I just don't think they should have to. That's my problem with it. And just gonna move right on to Survivor Series here because I'm kind of in a rush to finish this so I can try to go to sleep. And sorry you're gonna have to deal with the background noise. I've been trying to put it off, but that thing keeps kicking on. I don't know how to turn it off. And I just want to get this done. I didn't watch the pre-show, so I'm looking at the results here. TJ Perkins, Rick Swann, and Noam Dar defeated Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Arya Daivari, which is cool. I like TJP a lot. I love Rick Swann. He's fucking awesome. And Noam Dar is pretty cool. Even though I do really like Tony Nese, I actually like the first team more. So I'm glad they won. Whatever. I'm probably not going to go watch that because I'm sick of... They've been doing 3-on-3 cruiserweight matches pretty much every week since the cruiserweight division was established, which I'll get to later. So I just don't know how to book them. It's weird. Just put them in matches, let them do crazy shit. That's all you need to do. And it's Survivor Series. Why couldn't you have had a pre-show 5-on-5 Survivor Series match with the cruiserweights? That would have made sense at least, instead of just being the same thing over and over again. Rick Swann has been in, like, I think Gulak too, have been in, like, every single one of these matches too. It's really stupid. I also didn't watch Kane being Luke Harper, though I honestly feel like that could have been a good match. I might go back and watch that, but I'm not going to, and just so I can comment on it, because that would take too much time, honestly, which I don't have before it starts getting loud in this house again. The women's elimination match was better than I expected it to be. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. Becky Lynch looked really good. Alexa Bliss didn't do a whole lot, even though she's still, like, the number 2 woman, maybe competing for the number 1 in SmackDown's women's division with Becky Lynch. Naomi kind of got her ass kicked. I'm just going to stop trying to think of how individuals competed because it'll take too long. But most of them look good, but the ones that look bad, like Alicia Fox, Naomi, look really bad. You know, I really like Naomi. I think Alicia Fox is terrible, but I really like Naomi. She's fun to watch. She's got the athleticism thing going for her. Which, honestly, anyone who fights like a cruiserweight, honestly, like a high-flying cruiserweight, is always enjoyable to watch for me. I just love that kind of thing. Charlotte looked good. Bayley looked great. I've been unimpressed with Bayley in the ring so far, but she looked very good in this match. I figured either her or Nia would win, and Nia Jax surprisingly got eliminated without too much trouble, which I'm okay with because I think Nia Jax is I think Charlotte's the worst promo, the worst. For anyone who doesn't know what promos are, it's basically like the backstage segments or the talkie segments and story segments and stuff like that. The not match segments, basically. she's the worst of those, but I think Nia Jax is the most boring person in the entire WWE right now. Like, watching her is more boring than watching the Big Show lumber around and punch people, because at least that looks ridiculous. Um, she doesn't do anything. She reversed a suplex, an attempted suplex by two people, and suplexed two people at the same time, and it looked lame. It looked boring. It looked like it had no impact. It was terrible. All she did the rest of the fight was just bump into people. I think she clotheslined one person. It's stupid. She's not good. She's the person related to The Rock that I am sick of in the WWE. Not Roman Reigns, Nia fucking Jax. Nothing against her as a person. She's probably a decent person, whatever, I don't know. But she's just terrible in the ring, and she has no personality. At the very least, the character that she's been given has no personality, and that's just not fun to watch. If she was just like this stoic brute, but was fun to watch in the ring, it'd be cool. But she's not, and then her theme song's terrible on top of it. So I just hate when she has to wrestle. Yeah, I thought the thing with Charlotte attacking Bayley at the end was in character, but too predictable to be exciting at all. It was just kind of lame to me. A lot of people seem to like it. The Intercontinental Championship match was a bit disappointing. I thought this could be amazing. I thought Ziggler versus Zayn could be like one of the greatest matches I've seen in years. And that's taking into account the fact that I've watched a huge backlog of wrestling since I started watching again. To get kind of caught up, I watched a bunch of pay-per-views. I watched a lot of old Nitro because that's the shit I grew up on. I grew up on like late Attitude Era and stuff after that with WWF/WCW 2 or WWE 2, but I'm getting off track. I do that a lot. It's gonna be a long ass video, especially since I kept rambling about the pay-per-views that I said I was just going to quickly cover. Sorry. Yeah, it was a really good match. I just thought I had the potential to be absolutely amazing. It was just really good. So it was like 3.5 out of 5 stars, something like that, maybe 4. And of course, Miz won by cheating again. They basically caused confusion, and he rolled up Sami Zayn. I really wanted Sami Zayn to win because I love Sami Zayn, but whatever. This pretty much kind of gave away the conclusion of the Cruiserweight Championship match, kind of. I could have still seen it going the opposite way, but I didn't think it would after this, because the idea a lot of people thought they were going with was trading the Intercontinental Championship for a Cruiserweight Championship, because both championships were going to go to the other show if their representative won. And the Cruiserweight division, all the members would go to SmackDown, which should have happened, because SmackDown needs something else and Raw doesn't seem to know what to do with them. But whatever, I'll cover that now. I'll skip the tag team match for now and cover that because I already started talking about it. It was actually really good. The best match of Brian Kendrick that I've seen so far. I definitely wanted Kalisto to win, and definitely wanted the Cruiserweight division to go to SmackDown because I thought it made more sense. Because that night, I think it's right after SmackDown, but might be a day or two later. I don't remember exactly. They're starting that Cruiserweight specific show, and it's gonna be where SmackDown's hosted apparently. So that would make sense. And a lot less travel for the Cruiserweights. But I'm thinking maybe they just won't have whoever competes on Raw be on that show, so they don't have to travel. I don't know. It's weird. I think they should just have the women's division on Raw, Cruiserweight division on SmackDown, because I believe they used to do in like the mid-2000s, if I remember correctly. It just balances it out better. Because a lot of depth on SmackDown's women's roster, but not a lot of standouts. And there's a couple standouts on the Raw roster, the Raw roster, but there's not much depth at all. It's Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, and Sasha seems to be getting the short end of everything. So maybe not even her soon. I guess Nia, but I hate Nia, so I hate watching Nia. I don't hate her personally, obviously. Anyway, it would make more sense for that division to be all those women to be on one show and make for amazing competition for that title for years. Even if they don't add anyone, which obviously they will, but even if they didn't, it'd make for great matches for years to have all those talented people in one group, and then move the cruiserweights to SmackDown. They seem to know, like, Raw doesn't seem to know what to do with them. Give SmackDown a chance, and then Kalisto can be part of that too, because he's on SmackDown and he's like the only cruiserweight, unless you count James Ellsworth, who's just a comedy gimmick who happens to be small. The Team SmackDown versus Team Raw Survivor Series match was really fucking great. One of the best Survivor Series matches I've ever seen. I'd have to go back and watch some of the like mid 90s and prior ones, or maybe like 2012, 2013, 2014. I've seen 2015 because I wanted to see when Sting came back. But yeah, that was a thing, or debuted, I guess, because Sting had never been in WWE. Anyway, it was really good. Everyone looked amazing. Everyone got the shots in. Everyone got a chance to shine. Everyone got a chance to get their ass kicked. Wow, I forgot that I hadn't covered the tag team match yet. 10 on 10, 5 tag teams versus 5 tag teams. Team Raw won this one as well. It was boring for the first half. The second half was really exciting, especially when it got down to the Usos and Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro work amazingly together. I really hope they stay a tag team for a long time. I don't care if they start getting along, even though them not getting along might end up being boring. Yeah. And I've started liking the Usos a lot more lately. Because they were kooky, fun, good guys with no character before. Now they're just stoic badasses who put on a really good show in the ring. So that was fun. I do think it's kind of stupid that the New Day got eliminated immediately because they're the champions. They've been the champions for almost a year and a half. Just makes the premier tag team in the WWE look weak. So yeah, that was a good match. Back to the last Survivor Series match. It was, like I said, it was really good. Everyone got a chance to be up and down. It got especially good when it came down to Orton, Wyatt, and Styles versus Reigns and Rollins. Because all of them worked really well together. Orton and Wyatt worked really good as a team. So I'm certain that they're not going to be a team for all that much longer, but they do work really well together. And AJ Styles is always amazing. Jericho looked really good too, actually. And actually, I really liked Owens and Jericho, how they got eliminated. I loved Owens running in, grabbing the list of Jericho, and being the shit out of, I think it was Ambrose, but don't quote me on that, with it. And then that getting him disqualified. And then Jericho seeing the list, like the pages of it scattered around, and looking over Owens is walking away like, the fuck, man. And then he gets rolled up when he's distracted to get eliminated. That was cool. I love the Shield's triple power bomb. When Ambrose came back to beat the shit out of AJ Styles, that was awesome. And then the finish was just like one big move after another until wow, I'm trying to remember how the match ended actually. Oh yeah. Rollins was coming off the top rope. He was the last guy on the team. And Orton caught him with an RKO as he was coming down. And then no, remember that happened, and then something else happened. I don't remember. And then Bray Wyatt hit a kind of disappointingly weak Sister Abigail to win. I almost forgot to mention how insane Shane McMahon is, jumping like 10-15 feet through an announcer's table onto a 400-pound man, and then leaping across the ring into a spear from a 285-pound wall of muscle in Roman Reigns. The guy is like 50, and he is one of my favorite people to watch wrestle, and he barely wrestles because even though he's the boss's son, he just goes insane and puts his body on the line and does crazy shit that people who do this for a living would never dream of doing. Because I think he enjoys it. I think he loves wrestling, and I wouldn't be shocked if he was a full-time wrestler if he wasn't Vince's son. Sorry, this thing's really loud, but I really want to get this out before it becomes way too late to ever be relevant. Given SmackDown is going to end soon, that's very much past, but oh well. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. I was 5 again. 5.5. Wherever. Whenever Goldberg was starting out in the WCW, I was that again. I was absolutely fucking infatuated with Goldberg. He was possibly like my favorite human being that I wasn't related to or wasn't like a good friend of mine at the time. I was just in awe of him for years, and seeing him come back and wrestle, like, I don't care if it was right. No, I do care that it was spoiled for me because I used Facebook to talk to my girlfriend, and I clicked on it and it was like, bam, guess what happened with the match, and it upset me, but I still watched it and still got giddy, and then freaked out when on Raw he said he was going to be in the next day. He said he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he absolutely annihilated the monster, the beast incarnate that's Brock Lesnar. He annihilated the Annihilator. So, like, if he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, unless he's like the first guy in and the last guy eliminated to lose it, I will not be able to see what the point is of him beating Brock like this. I love Goldberg. He's possibly my favorite wrestler of all time. Chris Jericho is the only guy that can really compete, honestly, in my opinion. There are other guys that I think are amazing. They're just like an echelon of their own to me, which does have something to do with nostalgia, more so with Goldberg. But he still looked really good. He's 49 years old. He looks like he could kick 98% of the roster's ass just as easily as he did Brock Lesnar. Except that wouldn't be scripted, but whatever. Yeah, he beat Brock Lesnar. People are getting up in arms. Brock Lesnar never loses. You know, he's lost countless times to Triple H, John Cena, CM Punk. He loses a lot, actually. He doesn't lose all that often, but for someone whose thing is never losing, he's lost quite a lot. And someone pointed something out to me, or didn't point out to me, it was pointed out in a review video for this that I was watching, because I like watching reviews of things before I gather my own thoughts. Just hearing other opinions and being reminded of things that happened helped me clarify my opinion in my mind. But yeah, Simon Miller from What Culture reminded me, I'm pretty sure this is accurate. This sounds accurate. I cannot think of a time it did happen. And he knows more about wrestling than I possibly will ever know. So I'm going to take him at his word. Goldberg has never lost clean. Every single time he's lost is because of outside interference or the use of a weapon or some other underhand tactic. Kevin Nash, I think he hit him with the belt. I haven't seen it since I was 5 or 6. He hit him with the title belt. Triple H, after Goldberg absolutely annihilated everyone else in the Elimination Chamber for the greatest wrestlers of all time, he just plowed through. And then you got Triple H and Ric Flair fucking threw Triple H's sledgehammer, and he hit him a bunch of times with the sledgehammer, which, as dominant as Goldberg was looking, I honestly feel like it should have taken longer for that sledgehammer to beat him like it did, but anyway, he has never lost without some underhand tactic. I apologize for the little thing that just happened. So, if and when someone beats him, it will fucking launch that man. Or woman, but probably man, I'm sorry, into absolute superstardom the moment the referee's hand hits the mat for the 3rd time. Because this man has never lost a match. Technically has never lost a match. He is absolutely dominated some of the greatest of all time. He just dominated a man whose thing is dominating people in under a minute and a half with 3 moves. 3 really impressive looking moves, I gotta say, for someone who hasn't wrestled in over 12 years. And only wrestled for a few, whose wrestling career only lasted a few years total, including training to become a wrestler prior to that 12-year hiatus. And I'm very glad Goldberg won. But I'm still iffy on how he won. It's crazy. They can do some awesome things with it, but it was also very disappointing in that it wasn't all that extreme. As shocking and exciting as it was not that fun to watch. I didn't expect the match between them to be amazing, or like some technical showcase or something. But Goldberg, my childhood icon, basically, his first time he's been on screen in wrestling attire, and the 3rd or 4th time he's been on screen in 12 years, the other couple times being the few weeks before this, when he was just talking basically the whole time. I would like to see more, you know? They probably want to hide the fact that Goldberg's probably not in wrestling shape, which is very different than being in shape. He's in tremendous shape, but he hasn't had the exertion of a wrestling match, of a 10-20 minute match in over a decade. And that's probably why they're pushing him actually having a real match back to possibly WrestleMania even, so he can be more in shape, so he can go more than a few minutes without looking tired or exhausted or pulling a muscle like he has the last couple times when he did like 1 or 2 moves during promos. So yeah, I think it's very cool. I'm disappointed that it wasn't as enjoyable of a match as it could have been. I just would like to see more of it, but overall the entire show was really good. Even if Goldberg wasn't coming back, I would have been much less excited, because I'd be I'll be less excited for WrestleMania for any if there's any match in WrestleMania that doesn't include, if there's no match in WrestleMania that includes Goldberg, I will, no matter who else is there, I will be less excited for it than I was for seeing Goldberg today, because it's Goldberg and I love Goldberg. Yeah, it was really good. Sorry, this is almost 40 minutes long, but I wanted to cover those two that I missed because I felt bad about it. So, yeah, that's the thing. Bye.